Consul, an envoy from Elder Oyster Cookie is awaiting your audience.
From the Republic? What is going on?
The envoy is waiting inside.
Pleased to meet you, Consul Clotted Cream Cookie. Elder Oyster Cookie extends her best regards.
Greetings. You have come a long way. To what do I owe the honor?
Oyster Cookie expresses great interest in your progress.
Tell the Elder that I have met the Paladin and the Scientist. All goes according to the plan. Besides, I have managed to acquire a valuable piece of information. The situation is developing in our favor.
That is wonderful news. Many eyes in the Republic are watching you most eagerly. Did you know? Now, please excuse me. I have fulfilled my duty here.
What an exhausting day. But my work here will become the Republic's greatest achievement. They will see.
There you are, Ginger Brave.
Black Raisin Cookie! I just love my bed at the inn. I've never slept so well.
Glad to hear it. It's been a while since the council started.
Yeah, but the longer it goes on, the more complicated it gets.
Pure Vanilla Cookie seems weary. Sad to see him in this state, given how happy he was to finally meet his friends. He must have a lot on his plate. Pure Vanilla Cookie always took good care of us. Isn't there anything we could do for him? I'm worried.
I'm sure the others are worried too. I'm gonna go and find out what they think.
Gingerbrave, to what do I owe your visit?
Just thought I'd take this chance to see you before the council starts.
The council. Mark my words, I will not hold back this time. To share our soul jam, outrageous. I will not fall victim to the scheming of this deceitful clotted cream cookie.
I get that. After all, your sword has a special meaning for you. Even more so after what happened.
What is it you are trying to say?
I only wanted to say that you and Dark Choco Cookie, because of your sword, you know.
I am ashamed of what you had to witness.
Hollyberry Cookie? Are you there?
Oh, come in! Wildberry Cookie and I were in the middle of a game of chess, and I'm so glad that you came. Because I hate to lose.
The council will begin soon. How are you holding up?
Ah, that's right. We have a council to go to. I hope this one ends without a fight.
Console Clotted Cream Cookie keeps making things complicated.
Oh, don't even get me started. That cookie's up to something. I'll bet my last barrel of juice on that. Still, not so long ago I met my granddaughter, Princess Cookie. You remember her, right? Someday she will have to lead the Hollyberry Kingdom into the future. And you know what I thought? I don't want her to inherit all these soul jam wars from us. Isn't it our duty to do all in our power so that the future generations can live in peace?
A difficult choice.
Is it not? Perhaps a glass of juice before the council session will help me decide.
Absolutely not, my lady. You will need a clear head more than ever.
You are just one big walking rule book!
Gingerbrave. Good morning.
Hi, can I come in?
Of course. How could I refuse a visit from one of my dearest friends? Sit down. I have just prepared a fresh pot of tea. Fancy a cup?
Thanks.
I am glad that you came. You see, there is something I wanted to tell you. What Clotted Cream Cookie said yesterday. Without a doubt, his proposition caught everyone by surprise. But I think what he said was not entirely without merit. More than once have I seen the closest of friends become bitter enemies due to a greed for greater power. When power is in disbalance, it can only bring bitter jealousy and hatred. The power I am speaking of is our soul jam.
So you want to do as Clotted Cream Cookie says?
I have not decided yet, but it is time everyone heard the truth. At today's council, I will have to make an important confession. Welcome to the third council meeting, my friends. I sincerely hope that today we finally come to an accord.
If you allow me to begin. Esteemed colleagues, my proposition remains on the table. Have you reconsidered your decisions, if I may ask?
There is nothing to reconsider. Under no circumstances will I surrender my soul gem. This little stone has caused far too many tragedies to nonchalantly pass around.
He's right. Who else can control such power if not us?
With all due respect, it seems like we have a difficult discussion ahead of us.
How so?
Because my opinion regarding this soul jam conundrum also remains unchanged.
You! Enough talking! If you want this power for yourself, just say it loud and clear.
Perhaps what I'm going to say next will help you understand my logic. A vision of critical importance, if you will. A fact that showed me what can happen when great power is concentrated in the hands of just a few.
What is it you're trying to say?
I myself was utterly shocked when I heard this. Terrified, even. Yet, it has only reinforced my conviction in the fact that Soul Jam's potential must be shared with everyone.
Just get to the point already.
Very well. What if I told you that the cookie who inflicted such horrors upon the cookie world was one of the ancient heroes? Dark Enchantress Cookie, formerly known as White Lily Cookie.
What did you just say?
Are you...
You... I don't believe you! This is impossible!
But it is true. One of the 5 craved for more and more power, only to become a harbinger of the darkness in the end. Dark Enchantress Cookie desires to rebuild this world in her own image. To that end, she requires the power of Soul Jam. Soul Jam, the receptacle for a noble soul, yes. Yet, regardless, a source of tremendous, concentrated energy. Energy capable of building one kingdom from the ground up, and reducing another to ashes and rubble. But power can corrupt. It spawns greed. Greed leads to arrogance. And arrogance can lead even the wise and noble of us to the bitterest of ends. In the shadows of great power are those coveting it, wishing to challenge its owners. Can you keep your power safe indefinitely? This is why it is critical that our Crim Republic, uncorrupted by power, takes the lead of this campaign. This is why there is no other option but to share your Soul Jam. The more power is grasped, the more it slips away. You are not holding your ground against the chaos. Your stubbornness will be sowing its seeds. Wars, cruel conflicts born out of desire for power. All such grief is born from those that crave strength, those who desire to challenge the balance. The histories of your kingdom serve as perfect examples of this tragic pattern. Lastly, permit me to remind you that Dark Enchantress Cookie herself started the Dark Flower War because of her obsession with the power of your Soul Jam. Once called a noble, ancient hero, even she was unable to restrain her own greed.
Shut your poisonous mouth this instant!
Stop!
Out of my way!
I will not allow you to pass. Listen to the voice of reason!
Reason? How dare you!
Another proof to my point. I see you are no different from Dark Enchantress Cookie, unwilling to part with your precious power.
I can't open my eyes! This shockwave! I can barely move!
Such an overwhelming energy wave, caused by the collision of Soul Jam. To witness it firsthand.
Dark Cacao Cookie, come to your senses!
Let me go! I will end this arrogant whelp!
I said no! Did you forget that we swore to put an end to the cookies fighting? To friends fighting? And you, Clotted Cream Cookie, you crossed the line! How can you sully the names of cookies sworn to protect others with their lives? Why lie about a noble hero to prove your point?
I found it hard to believe myself. Yet it is the sad truth. Am I right, Pure Vanilla Cookie? You knew it all along, did you not?
I beg for your forgiveness, my dearest friends. I should have told you sooner. I told you that the two others refused to come. But I was dishonest. White Lily Cookie is not coming because she is Dark Enchantress Cookie. I planned to tell you the truth, I did. Yet, I could not muster the courage to tell you.
How could this be?
What this cookie says is right. Soul Jam is too dangerous in our hands alone. I could not do anything to prevent this tragedy, even though I was the only one who could. White Lily Cookie desired strength to achieve her goals. Now I understand it was inevitable that she became Dark Enchantress Cookie. There are many ways to protect what is dear to us. Sometimes, when one's own efforts are not enough, it is only natural to ask for help. But White Lily Cookie, she believed that only through more power could she change the course of fate. As she went on, she desired more and more. But too much power can only bring sorrow and suffering. I am so sorry, my friends. I did not want you to learn the truth this way. I am truly sorry.
So, he was telling the truth?
White Lily Cookie is indeed Dark Enchantress Cookie?
But how did it happen?
That remains a mystery, even for me. I only know she tried to uncover the secret of the cookie's origin. And there, something terrible happened.
I can't believe I heard about this from a complete stranger. You are just like White Lily Cookie, you know that? You always said how important our friendship was. But all this time, you kept us in the dark. Of all cookies, Dark Cacao Cookie and I were the last to know.
Perhaps, since the very beginning, you never thought of us as your peers. I see no more reason to remain here. Fighting together requires trust. Despite the rebuilding of this kingdom, I see that trust still remains in ruins. No, there is nothing and no one to trust here.
I need some time to think.
Dark Cacao Cookie! Hollyberry Cookie!
They left! Oh no! Is this the end?